Good morning. This is so awesome. My name is Jennifer Tom and I'm with my friend here,
Darlene.
I love it. Please grab your coffee. It's grief talk.
There we go. There we go.
I like that. We love Be Well too. And yeah. So exciting. I can't believe it's end of June and it's a holiday here tomorrow. Darlene, do you want to tell our friends about our holiday tomorrow? July 1st.
July 1st. We get to, restrictions are lifted. We get to go party. We get to go to other people's homes. We get to take off our masks. So here's to freedom.
Cheers. We like that. We know we've all been through this journey of everything that is happening in the world. And that's why today we are here to connect with you and just share a huge topic about the power of knowledge.
Yes.
We all know knowledge is power.
Mhm.
And we're just gonna discuss that, but in relation to grief. And I am so excited because my friend Darlene has some serious big nuggets for us. But before we go there, I want to read the quote for the day. And
Let me just share
I am
it.
excited about this. And look at us. Yay. We receive more education about simple first aid than we do about death, divorce, and other emotional losses. Oh, we learn much about acquiring things. We have precious little information on what to do when we lose them. Isn't that? Oh, I love that. Thanks for sharing, darling, because that is so powerful. That is so powerful. So, we have the question for you today.
Oh, we have to explain first.
We have to explain first. Darlene will explain while I type it on the chat.
Okay. So, again, today we're going to talk about something that is called short-term. It's short-term relief. That's hey. Yeah, I need my notes. It's short-term energy relieving behaviors. So this is your new nugget for today. So when we talk about grief, when we have little education about grief, when we don't know what to do, we've all gone through tough, crazy times where we were not able to cope how we usually cope. Short-term energy relieving behaviors are what we use to distract ourselves, to take our attention somewhere else so we don't have to face pain and traumatic feelings. So these are great in the short term, but they do not work in the long term. So some short term, some examples can be eating. When we don't want to deal with things, we can eat. We can exercise. We can eat, exercise. What else do we do when we don't want to
drink
deal
too
with
much?
anything? We can drink too much.
Too much coffee.
Too much coffee. Never
Or too
anything
much
else.
wine.
But we can drink, we can distract ourselves, we can be busy, we can keep ourselves so busy that we don't have to deal with the emotions of grief and loss. And when we don't understand grief and loss, we often don't want to go through those painful emotions. And so we distract ourselves. We use whatever we can so we don't have to deal with the pain. And we're encouraged to use stress relievers, right?
Yes.
Because when you go through grief, if somebody else doesn't want to know how to deal with grief, then they encourage you, right? Let's just go for a drink. Let's go for ice cream. That's my favorite one. Let's get out and do something. Let's get out and be busy. Get back to work. Just go out and do something. And those are all things that distract us, but they don't really help us.
Oh, darling, powerful. I see you, my friends. Give us a thumbs up to know you are there. But that's what we'll be talking about because this is a heavy one. This is so good. What are your short-term energy relieving behaviors? As again, I love to share personal stories when I've had a loss in my life. It's so true. We want those short-term relief, like again walking and stuff, but those are the nice things. You can do nice things. Sometimes you can actually do bad things. For example, having too much wine so that you don't have to deal with it. uh, just numbing the pain, just numbing the pain. And now we have weed, we have, you can do all sorts of things to numb that pain. But Darlene and I are just here to share with you that the more we numb that pain, oh, we have a good story for you. It boils up. It boils up. And we're just here to share a few nuggets how to not use the short term and actually work through it. And that's why we have stronger life connections. That's why we have online resources for you on how to do this work. This work is hard work, but we have to do the work.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? So, Dali, tell us about. I just love her analogy about pain, is because I've been there personally. I have done the short term where maybe I get too busy. I found like I was sharing somebody sometimes when I'm driving and maybe I've had a loss. And when we talk about loss, it can mean any kind of loss, loss of health, divorce, any loss is loss. So when I've had a loss in my life and I'm driving and I don't want to feel those emotions, I don't want to feel the pain, another short term thing I do is I call my friend and I keep myself busy on the phone so that I don't deal with the emotions that are coming up. So, Darlene, share with us how bottling, keeping, pushing those emotions, give us I just love it. Let me not even spoil it for you, my friends.
I'm going to give you an analogy, and it's from the Grief Recovery Handbook that we've been reading, and I've been using when I talk to people. It's really helpful, and they have an analogy of a kettle. So do you remember those old kettles that we used to have on the stove? And there was a little spout, and you'd put the water in the kettle, and as it started heating and building, what happens, the steam comes out of the spout until it's boiling, right? And so when we have loss, it can be the same thing. We're creating this energy comes from the loss, from our grief, and the emotions build up and the energy builds up, and it needs to be released out of the spout to be healthy, to use it, and it boils, and then we can take it off, we can have our tea, and it's useful. But what happens with these short-term energy relieving behaviors, it's like sticking a spout into that, or a cork into that spout. And so what happens is, as it starts boiling, there's nowhere to release the tension. There's nowhere to release energy. And eventually it would explode, right? It would just explode. And so short-term energy relieving behaviors is like that cork. We're sticking that cork in so we don't have to feel all the emotions. So that's the problem. The solution is, so the knowledge of understanding grief and loss, the solution is to work through your grief. And one of the ways we work through our grief, or one way that is helpful, is looking at the 4 tasks of grieving. And so if we look at the 4 tasks of grieving, so instead of doing the short-term relief, we can do the 4 tasks. We can go through some tasks, and one task is acknowledging the reality of the loss. We have to come to that point where we can acknowledge that loss. We need to work through those emotions. We need to be able to express and feel those emotions and have constructive ways to work through anger, work through grief, sadness. So we need to work through those emotions. We need to adjust to the environment where that thing that we lost is gone. So whether it's a person, whether it's a divorce and you have to go on as a single person, whatever that adjustment, we need to be working on how do we adjust to that loss. And then how do we move forward keeping a connection, especially with our loved ones when we've lost something. And there's been good, even in most relationships, there's good and bad. And we don't want to lose a good, but we want to find that way to keep connecting, but to move on with our loss. So that's the 4 tasks.
I love it. And we have these tasks on our book.
We do.
So If you liked those nuggets, please grab yourself a copy on our website. And it's there explained. And I love that after you read the 4 tasks of healthy grieving, you can journal and just another way to release. And this is not short term. Journaling is huge, and you write, and we've talked about soul writing where you write a letter. But anyway, we are out of time. Can you believe it? No. Anyway, but we are excited about sharing this and sharing with you lessons learned and sharing with you uh, the book and the resources. So check them out on our website. And I am so excited because we've had this inquiry. Our friends are saying 10 minutes is not enough. Let's do a podcast. So our friends, watch out. Darlene and I are coming to you with a podcast. So wish us luck, because grief talk is heavy and we need to share, and we want to connect with you because you are our friends and we need the connection. Till next Wednesday, have an amazing week.